Okay, welcome back once again. It's going to be a shorter video, really just for me to get an update on how this spot is doing. If you've seen my previous videos, we have fished this spot before. We only have, let's see, we've got 18 of the little pellets and 33 of the boilies. I'll show you the setup here in a second. Let's just get these guys in the water soaking, because this spot can be, you have to be patient sometimes. And this one we're actually using the old setup, but we are going to use the same PVA. Didn't stick, I don't think. Krill 2 PVA. Oh, it must have. It's just like glitched or something. There we go. Alright. Let's make sure we're at 10 meters here as well. And then I'll show you the setups. So you may have noticed on the Russian fishing forums, if you track those, there's not always a lot of info on there. But thankfully there are a few people that update it. But I believe it was Gorefinder who was one of the original people to post about this spot. Again, a lot of people have talked about this spot at this point, but he finally caught a trophy bighead carp here, and he had changed his baits up a little bit. So same setup as I've used on carp fishing for a long time now in terms of line and all that, but we have switched over. We're using pellets now. This is a classic hair rig, pellets and boilie. We've got classic pellets 18, freshwater krill 18, still using the red krill dip, and now we're using a different PVA mixture. And so the base is rapeseed with dried krill clay mussel feed pellets 8 with ocean krill 12 crushed and red krill attractant. So similar to what we used before, but it does have some variety in it a little bit. But so anyway, that is what we're fishing with right now. To show you the difference, this is actually our third bait combination we've tried here. Just show you the difference. We have those two on the first two. On the third line, we have what we started with in this spot, which was the red krill pellets 18, different brand, and then also the crab and mussel 18 soluble boilies. So similar but slightly different. Just thought we'd keep one the same as a comparison. Now remember, last time we were here, what is on my third line had gotten pretty slow, but we were still catching really nice fish when we did have bites on it. We had switched to something else, sort of the second round of baits, but it wasn't exactly like this, although it did have these old pal halibut pellets, but it was the smaller size. And then I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember. It might have been the soluble crab and mussel soluble regular pellets. Boilies. So it's all been similar, but we're just kind of messing around, changing stuff up a little bit. And if you look at the ground bait, this is the krill 2 we're using now. We still have a few left, 22 pieces left of the red krill mix, which actually this one is just like the one we're using now. So the other one, do I have any of the other one left? There was one more that was a little different. Because when the first video I made, I fished with 2 different types of PVA sticks, because someone had made the comment that maybe it's not good to fish with different PVA mixtures in the same spot because it might actually sort of work against itself. But I can't remember now what that was. So anyway, this PVA, krill PVA, is actually the same as the very first one we used here. Yeah, because the other one I was using was what Carp Guy had sent me. The Agvana dry mix. But it looks like I don't have any of that left. So I just don't remember exactly what was on that. I was trying to make sure I didn't save it as a name that I'm just not seeing. But I had made up a stack of that as well. So anyway, all that being said, basically what we're trying to do here is see how good this spot looks for just a few minutes here. And if for nothing else, to see if this is where I want to fish tonight when I have a little bit more time. I haven't heard of any new spots. I think my tendency, what I kind of feel like doing, is going and experimenting some more at Amber. But I hate to walk away from this spot if it's still, giving you 300 silver an hour, which I just don't know if it is. $10.44, clip 18. All right, let me pull open the map really quick. I want to see where that is.
Wow. Wow.
It's that spot over here. Garlic dough. 1044, clip 18. All right. Let's do something a little tricky here. Oldberg. 1044, clip 18, garlic dough. Did he say? Yeah, clip 18. Okay. We are getting a nibble on the middle rod. These fish are going to have to be awfully good to justify how slow this has started. I think the fishes on there just swam towards the shore and to the left a little bit. But it looks like the big heads are... Oh, that's... Is that a grass? Okay. Alright, let's try this a little bit longer because... You know, I'm starting to wonder if the big heads are still here. And or the buffalo. Well, that's kind of exciting. We might have a old bird bream video to do. That could be fun. Go try that out. I love bream fishing. And the videos are a little bit more short, more contained, because you can just do sort of the overnight when bream are good. You can do a 30-minute video instead of an hour-long video. So before, when I was fishing here, honestly, the night was as good as any. And so for us to go through that much of the nighttime with 0 bites is making me really question this spot now. Let's see on weekly bream so far if any of them have been coming from Old Berg, because that's a good sign. I like that someone caught one at Volkov though. I'd love to know if there is a good Volkov spot. One's at Tuba, but we do have multiple nice bream coming out at Old Berg, so that's fun. And that's always a good video for folks who are not as high level and looking for money spots at lower level lakes. So might take a look at that. While we're sitting here waiting on some action, let's go ahead and set up our rods for that. Loop rig is good. We really want to put on the 9.8. At Old Berg, we can use the really fancy cage. Put on a little bream mix, take that off. Let's go size 8 hook and garlic dough. All right, we're getting a fish. That's what we're here for. Actually, catch some fish here. So we're really wanting to see that this is either a buffalo or a bighead so that we know that they're still here. All right, so there's a bighead. That is a good sign. Now, are the buffalo still here? Because this spot, if you go no, if you take away the bighead or the buffalo, that significantly lowers the silver intake. Okay, that brought us some good luck. So let's set up our next line. I think this one is now good to go. All right, so let's go number 2. Saber, that's the right line. Let's put a nice cage on there. Let's put some bream mix. Let's take that off. 8 hook. And garlic dough. Okay. So Wrangler caught there's an Arctic char. Oh, he caught a 300-gram Cory char. I got what he's saying. Okay. And this one has that. It's the right line. We don't need that one. Oh, I should check and see which... which sinker we have on those other ones. Oh, right. Right. See, I knew something was wrong, and I just couldn't quite process it in my mind. Like, what is wrong here? Oh, I see what's wrong. I see what's wrong. All right, that's good. All right, they're all set up for later on. Yeah, let's see. 2 fish. So maybe it's during the day this spot is still okay. I mean, we are certainly not catching small fish. They're all decent. It's another grass. So what I'm starting to feel like is that the buffaloes are gone. Making sure we have the same, yeah. So I would like to amend my initial opinion here. Now, first of all, there's no evidence that the buffaloes are still here, right? So far. However, at least during the day, this is plenty active for this spot. This is still going to be really nice silver if it keeps this up. Even without the buffalo, but it's just nice being able to see those buffaloes coming in. People are still catching buffaloes today, so they may still be here. Maybe this will be a little buffalo. No, it's a little tench. It's like everything you're catching here is just decent money, decent XP. That's what makes this spot so interesting. We had a trophy tench here, right? There's been trophy buffalo caught here. There's been trophy bighead carp caught here, both in pretty high percentages. All right. Took us forever to catch up. Hey, guess what? Yeah! Proved my own theory wrong. I like it. So we're still seeing the buffalo here. Yeah, I think this spot's still good. It's just, it could have been just bad RNG on how slow it was overnight, but that is a little different, right? In the past, if anything, it was, better at night and still pretty decent during the day. Now it seems to be better at day, and we had a really slow night. That was another quick bite, but it's something tiny. Guess it's a little... Is that a little buffalo? Oh, it's a little wild carp. I thought there was a fish on the middle line too, but it may not be there yet. It's not very often that I catch fish that are not markers in this spot. That was different there. That was really unusual. I don't remember what size hooks I used to use on eels. I don't think it was 8. I think it was more like 4 or 6. Somewhere in that range. I think 4. But I'm not sure. There we go. I like to see that front line get a good bite, because this is what we want to catch the trophy bighead on to have the best chance of getting it in. That fish is going slow. I guess it moved towards us and to the left. Now it's going back to the right. It's definitely on there though. It's a buffalo. No, it's a wild carp. Isn't it amazing? That's probably actually the fish that's worth the least here in terms of silver per kilo. But isn't it amazing? Like, we've got 7 keeper fish, 5 different species, all pretty much using the same bait. And they're all pretty good fish. So it's a pretty interesting spot still. It's taking off. That's a decent fish there. Please be a buffalo, right? when it's this size, you're always like, oh, it'll be a buffalo. Because it'd be a nice buffalo. Anything else, it's just sort of mediocre. I'm about to just jerk this thing out of the water. Maybe I'll wait. It's just like right in front of us. Be aggressive. Be. It's a big head. Alright, it's a nice little big head though. This has been fun. Like, it is not boring. It's not much downtime. I mean, for fishing for such big fish, very little downtime. That's a nice buffalo. What's that, like 6-7 kilos? Oh, maybe not quite. Yeah, 7 kilos. And we've got another fish on the middle line. Or did it just not sit properly? Thought I saw it moving. Ooh, line 1. We have a call on line 1. All right. The buffalo have answered the call. How does everyone feel about this news? A little bonus content here. So just to finish the thought here. Yesterday, it was announced by Dovetail Games that this summer they're releasing a new fishing game called The Catch: Carp and Course. Now, no gameplay footage, and this is all also coming from Dovetail Games, which they're now listing the publisher as Dovetail Games Fishing, so it's like they've got plans to do even more fishing games. They did Fishing Sim World Pro Tour, as well as Eurofishing 1 and 2. The problem is the easy criticism is that Dovetail tends to create these fishing games and then abandon them after a year or two. That's sort of the easy criticism to make. I'm saying Eurofishing 1 and 2. I think there was something before Eurofishing that was similar. Anyway. So like Fishing Sim World, they've been adding tons of cool DLC to, but now that they're coming out with this new one, and Fishing Sim World's been out, what, a year and a half or something? Maybe 2 years now? September 18th, 2018. So it will not have reached its 2-year anniversary when this new one comes out. Are they going to sort of stop making stuff? I love what they've done with Fishing Sim World in terms of the DLC. Has been really interesting, cool stuff. My only problem, and I've always felt this way about Dovetail fishing games, is the fishing itself. To me, it feels like it's on rails. Like you are so locked into this almost predetermined fish fight. I don't know how to explain it, but after I had played Russian Fishing 4 and even now playing a lot of the later content in Fishing Planet, Dovetail games, I mean, and maybe they'll improve that. I mean, maybe that's the optimistic view, is they're coming out with this new, theoretically, it might be a new engine. But I understand a lot of people in the community's feedback and reaction when stuff like this gets announced by Dovetail is like, it just feels like a money grab. Like it's another new game, which they'll have more DLC that'll cost money, and then at some point, quicker than you would hope, they're going to be jumping to another, But we'll see. The trailer's fun, of course. It seems like and they do a really good job of having like boss fish, like named fish that's more rare that you're going after. And I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on it and we'll see how it goes. But I like the almost MMO feel of Russian Fishing 4, and that's certainly not typically present in the Dovetail games. And then just the fishing experience itself isn't as fun to me, so. But we'll see. I thought that was funny when that trailer and that announcement came out of nowhere yesterday. Since it's coming out this summer, which is not that far away, I hope that they will start releasing gameplay footage sooner rather than later. The longer they go not doing that, especially if they release it without, then the more skeptical I would be that nothing really has changed and they're just throwing out a new piece of content to get, more money. But that's a pretty skeptical view. I mean, I think, Dovetail's a pretty big company. They do a lot of interviews. They'll, mostly it's over in Europe, but there should be some updates on it before it comes out, some more information. But I would love it if they, it's so fun when we get like a follow on our stream channel while I'm creating a video. Thanks for the follow, Simon. I'm not even streaming right now. I am hoping that they'll finally have changed the actual how you do fishing in that game. By the way, we've been talking for a little while now. 6 minutes since the last fish. It's a little bit of a long wait. I probably need to wrap this video up shortly though. Someone is explaining to me from, I'm assuming, the last video where I was talking about trying to figure out why the bait fish on the carp rod, the bait fish rig, was using a classic or a regular leader instead of a feeder leader. And I think basically they were saying that because the bait fish is moving around, it acts more like a lure. Okay. Let's hopefully get one more fish here. But some of those other games, you know, are a lot less grindy. And so it can be just like a fun distraction. It's not something that I would put the amount of, like, you know, it's hard to put the same amount of time in something like a dovetail fishing game compared to something like this. There's just not as much to do or work towards. And it's not as dynamic. And again, like I said, the fishing's just not as fun to me. But it's an interesting distraction. It's always interesting when somebody comes out with a new fishing game to see what new ideas might be there. I think probably one of the best games that's come out in the last couple years, that actually added something to the genre was Fisher Online or whatever it's called. Like that actually, to me, the fishing's actually fun in that game. They're continuing to add lots of content. If RF4 didn't exist, I would probably play that one above other fishing games right now. But even that one, at this point, doesn't have anywhere near the content or the depth of RF4 when you take away things like crafting and just the wide range of things you do in RF4. But I thought that was a really good game. Okay. Well, maybe we should just cut our losses here and wrap this up. I have definitely have mixed feelings, mixed thoughts about this spot. I don't know. I'm going to give it a little bit of more time because we are coming up to that like 18 to 21 sort of time frame here where sometimes things will just pick back up. So remember, this third line that tends to be getting a little better bite ratio than the other two lines does have the older combination of baits on it. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe we should have gone with two lines with the older combination and just one line with the new one. Once again, please be a buffalo. We'll find out right now if it is. It is not. And that's the only difference between the two setups. So line 2 still has the new setup. Line 1 and 3 has the old one. But some nice big-headeds today. 9.6 the biggest. Alright, so we switch this back to the old combination of baits, and I think that's a grass, isn't it? It's angry, whatever it is. No, that's a buffalo. Hold everything. It's a nice buffalo. It's really nice. $12.54. $12.54. That will be number 1. Numero uno. At least for... Ooh, that was a big wild carp that Durr just caught. 17 kilos, 17.8. That's a decent money fish there. We still haven't gotten our trophy yet, though. I mean, just for the trophy hunt, it might be worth me fishing this spot more, even if the spot's not quite as good as it was, or even if I'm getting a little tired of it. You know, it's not all the time that there's a spot that you've got a reasonable chance of catching a trophy buffalo or a trophy bighead for that matter. I kind of like having a little variety in the baits here, though. even though we're using the same PVA mix. It's kind of cool. Weekly record Buffalo. If you're watching this video, just know that I do not send people random people stuff that send me a message and ask for stuff. I wouldn't do that even if it was still the fact that I could send stuff that had been purchased with silver. I wouldn't just send random stuff. Now, people that are in my chat channel in game, I occasionally surprise them with something, but I'm not just going to randomly send somebody that sends me a message gear, and you can't do that now, at least with silver vault stuff. They're saying please. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. Coming to an end. It's getting late anyway. It would be interesting to go through another night. I don't have time. I've got to go do some family stuff, but it'd be interesting to go through a night to see if that was just an unlucky night or if nighttime really is going to drop off that much here. You know, you could lean in hard to the I don't know. I don't know that I would change anything at night. Just hope that you get better bites. There's no reason to necessarily think that there would be burbot hit in this spot or anything like that. Now, there might be other spots that, you could go to try at night, but without a boat, you're a little limited on where you can get from here. Thought for sure we'd get one more fish here. But once it hit daytime, we never went that long. The longest amount, I think, was this 10-minute spot here. Everything else was nice, right? Just, and this was probably that, like, afternoon. It's a little too hot, lull in the action there, but overall, during the day, this has been a really good spot. It's continued to be a really good spot. And as usual, I think I'll be surprised at how much silver 16 fish from this spot are. It sneaks up on you. Okay, let's go check it out. I'm not going to sit here all night. All right, let me relog real quick, and I'll be right back to see the silver. Early access warning. It's still being developed. You may encounter some errors, crashes, or unstable playtime. Please be patient. Thank you for your understanding. Do you think they'll ever put travel points in RF4? Even just a travel point back to base would be greatly appreciated. What's the downside of having a travel point back to base? I think it'd be cool even if they had travel spots around the map that you paid to unlock. I don't mean gold, I mean silver. That would be dirty if it was with gold, but if it was silver, if it was like, hey, you know, you have to unlock this spot and then you're traveling, I don't know. I think you should just put travel spots on these huge maps. At least back to base. Maybe that's the most balanced way of doing it. It's just allowing you to travel back to base. What's the difference in everyone just relogs, you know? Okay. So when I first started this video, when I was running out there, I looked in the cafe and it didn't look like anything that we're catching. Oh. Trophy grass carp. That would be fun. 370 silver. All right. Let's see how we did. So the best priced fish was that buffalo. 219 silver. It's always better than I think it's going to be. It's always better than I think it's going to be. Not too bad. All right, cool. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Maybe try some bream later tonight. We'll see. Peace out.